Hello, this is Angelia with today's Bible reading. Today's reading comes from 2 Corinthians 12, a thorn in the flesh. Because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, for this reason, to keep me from exalting myself, there was given me a thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from exalting myself. Concerning this I implored the Lord 3 times that it might leave me. And he has said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore, I am well content with the weaknesses, with insults, with distresses, with persecutions, with difficulties, for Christ's sake. For when I say I am weak, then I am strong. I have become foolish. You yourselves compelled me. Actually, I should have been commended by you, for in no respect was I inferior to the most eminent apostles, even though I am a nobody. See, again, he's talking about the other apostles and, not being inferior. So evidently, Paul had faced some criticism, at least, from the others or people who followed the others. And again, he has to feel like, he maybe needs to justify his ministry. The signs of a true apostle were performed among you with all perseverance, by signs and wonders and miracles. For in what respect were you treated as inferior to the rest of the churches, except that I myself did not become a burden to you? So again, he's saying he did all the things that the other apostles did, and started some churches, and there's some insecurity there somewhere, even though he's saying he's not boasting in himself. The very words that he's saying are boastful. So, forgive me this wrong. And he knows that. So, forgive him that wrong. Here, for this 3rd time, I am ready to come to you, and I will not be a burden to you. For I do not seek what is yours, but you. For children are not responsible to save up for their parents. Hear that, parents? Because I know some parents who think their children owe them everything, but they didn't ask to be born. You chose to have them, So they're your responsibility. You're not their responsibility. You're supposed to provide for yourself and make sure you're taken care of, when you get old. So, but parents, for their children, like I just said, I will most gladly spend and be expended for your souls. If I love you more, am I to be loved less? But be that as it may, I did not burden you myself. Nevertheless, crafty fellow that I am, I took you in by deceit. And so he's admitting that. That's not necessarily a good thing, You're supposed to be truthful in your dealings. Certainly I have not taken advantage of you through any of those whom I have sent to you, have I? I urged Titus to go, and I sent the brother with him. Titus did not take any advantage of you, did he? Did we not conduct ourselves in the same spirit and walk in the same steps? So, even though he's kind of going about things maybe differently than the other apostles, he's, coming from a good place. His intentions are good. And that is something that I believe is respected. The intention behind an act. Not the act itself, because people can be impulsive. They can just do things willy-nilly, and then they realize afterwards, I shouldn't have did that, shouldn't have said that, But your intentions behind the action are what matters. Because what comes out of the heart, like Jesus said, is what makes a thing good or bad. All this time you have been thinking that we are defending ourselves to you. Actually, it is in the sight of God that we have been speaking in Christ. And all for your upbuilding, beloved. So he's letting them know, we're trying to build you up. We're not trying to, say how great we are and everything. We're trying to build you up. For I am afraid that perhaps when I come, I may find you to be not what I wish, and may be found by you to be not what you wish. That perhaps there will be strife, jealousy, angry tempers, disputes, slanders, gossip, arrogance, disturbances. I am afraid that when I come again, my God may humiliate me before you, and I may mourn over many of those who have sinned in the past and not repented of the impurity, immorality, and sensuality which they have practiced. So, he wants them to be good, and he's pretty sure they want him to be a certain way. And that's what usually causes problems in relationships: perceptions, expectations. That's one of the things they teach you in Buddhism, and which I study for the mental tenets. They have very great mental tenets that will make you think, because religion don't always talk about, thinking. Some of it does, but not always. So he's touching on the fact that, perceptions and expectations are what can cause trouble. If I expect you to be a certain way, and then I meet you and we hang out and stuff, and then you're not that way, or you suddenly go into a different aspect of your personality, you might disappoint me. I'd be like, wow, or you might act that way and disappoint me because I might expect you to be a certain way, but then you're not that way. So then I'm disappointed. So he touches on that, is that human relationships do weigh a lot on perception and expectation. So, when you come into relationship with people, you need to kind of pull that back, how you perceive things, and what you expect from others, because that's usually where the problems come in. And then he's saying, he hopes that, he's not disappointed, humiliated, that people, are not going on and doing the sinful things that he told them not to. So, excuse me. Just had lunch not long ago. See, you might not expect me to burp, but I did because I'm human. But anyway, he doesn't want to have any remorse over these people. So that's kind of his little way of, kind of be good. So, yeah. And that's all for now. Amen.